Buff Nation, what's going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Hey, here's the deal. There's been a lot made about the transfers that we're bringing in, the new guards, the new tackles that we got, the additions that we got on defense, especially on the defensive line, edge room, inside linebacker, all of that. But I want to highlight somebody that I think could be the unsung hero of this season if it goes according to plan, which I think we're all expecting a nice jump and improvement this year from the Buffs. And I want to give credit to Scott Proctor for writing an article on this gentleman today. And I'm going to be reading some excerpts out of that, links in the description, as well as playing some of his all 22 tape from the last game of the year against Utah. You might be figuring out who this is by now. Who might be this unsung hero that we got? That is our true sophomore, I think, starting center, Hank Zilinksas, which is fantastic. And y'all let me know your thoughts on him. Smash that like and subscribe. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know your thoughts. But this was a fantastic article. Be sure to read your way through the whole thing. Again, I'll link it in the description. But I thought that you guys would probably like to see some clips of him playing while I read some of the excerpts of that. Again, number 58 in the middle. Let me go ahead and transition over here to, this is a little bit better, right? You guys can tell I got some new editing software, and none of this happens without y'all. So we'll get running this tape again. Had a fantastic game, graded out very well on this in Pro Football Focus as well. Had a 78.3 pass block rating in this game, a 67.1 in the run block. Okay. And you want to compare this to Van Wells before I get into doing some of the reading of the excerpts on the year. Van Wells had an 81 pass block grade and a 64.8 run block grade. So if we're able to get that and a little bit more from Hank Zilinksas this year, I think that that's totally reasonable. But throughout this article, it was really cool. Of course, Hank talking about how it's always been a dream of his to be a Colorado Buffalo, and he loved being at the school. He learned so much this year, and I wanted to read this excerpt from Pat Shurmur that I thought just really spoke to his character. Shurmur said this on April 25th. First thing I like about Hank is, it's easy for guys to just pull the ripcord and take off, in the transfer portal. Hank was here a year ago, got some reps, but then he watched this winter as we brought in like 6 guys around him. He didn't say anything. He kept working. He was resilient. He's tough. He kept learning. He kept developing and got bigger. He did all the things you want from a young man to develop. And seems like he has the upper hand on guys like Yakiri Walker on having that starting center spot right now. And as Scott Proctor put this, that's high praise from a man with 20 plus years of coaching experience in the NFL. Okay. Now, I also wanted to say this from this article. Hank Zilinksas said this. Those 2 games I started in against Colorado State as well as Utah, I played were very, very beneficial to me. When you get to college, a lot of difficulties come with adjusting to the game and how it's different than it is in high school, the speed, the size, the strength, all that kind of stuff. It's your first year experiencing college ball and how it's played. I think now that I have a little bit of experience under my belt, it helps me understand what to expect. Coach Loldhold, that's mentioned in this, spoke to how his football IQ has really improved, his strength, and now he's playing at closer to 300 pounds than the 285 that he was at come the end of the year. And I think, again, when you have a young guy, true sophomore, that is already receiving this high of a praise from the staff, especially with the line play that we had last year, it gets me excited, guys. I'm just going to be honest. Like, I'm very pumped. I think that Hank Zilinksas can give us Van Wells quality center play, which I don't think he was a bad center last year. Again, I thought our main issue was left tackle, left guard, and right guard. I think he's got the ability with the coaching that we have here, with how he has taken to the strength program, that we see him put out a better year than Van Wells did this past year, which I think would be fantastic. It's also going to really help him having guys like Tyler Brown, Tyler Johnson, Justin Mayers there inside, right? That he's playing right next to big 325-pound guards. Okay, I think that we're going to see a large improvement from the offensive line when it comes specifically to the run blocking. And I'm excited to see this. As you can see here on this tape, he moves quite well. And again, I think he's establishing himself. Maybe he might not be that quote unquote leader of the offensive line, but as the center, you got to make sure everybody knows their assignments, that the protections are shifted in the appropriate ways, that everybody is lined up and understands their assignment. Hank Zilinksas has a lot of responsibility put on him, and I think that if he takes the jump that people are expecting, the way that the staff has talked about him, I think that this offensive line is in a much better position than it was at this point last year. You know, we only have upwards to go, right? We only have improvement to go from here, from where we were at this past year. But Hank Zilinksas is one of these guys that if he comes in and not only is somebody that is like a net average on the team, not a negative, but becomes a plus. You know, he's significantly adding to the quality of play on the offensive line. Then I think that you're going to see us have some really fantastic games running the ball, and that's going to do a great job in helping protect Shedeur as well. So y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. I think that there's, of course, with all the transition with the team, there's a lot to be excited about. There's a lot of guys to focus and educate yourself on, but I think that I just really like that Scott Proctor put this out, because it does give due credit due to a guy that very well could have taken off, just like so many guys have done, not only on this team but in college football. And I think it says a lot with his character that with Woldholt coming in here, he didn't look to leave. He stayed in here, didn't complain. Didn't do any of that stuff you see athletes do on social media, subtweeting and complaining. And, you know, it's always somebody else's fault if they're not on the field, right? No excuses. This guy's a blue-collar guy, a type of guy that you would like to see be a part of leading this offensive line. To see him put the work in and surprise people this year so far throughout spring, and I think as we get into the fall season, these are the types of stories that I love with college football. So credit to Hank Zilinksas. Continue to work. Now, this is the year of expectation, and that includes with him likely being the starter. That means I'm going to have starter expectations for his quality of play as well. So y'all let me know your thoughts. Appreciate you guys checking in. Be sure to smash that like and subscribe on the way out. And hopefully you like this kind of setup. I've enjoyed it a little bit. I'll be back tomorrow with some more Buffs news. And as always, y'all,